Hey dribbler, it's Manny here. So today I've got for you the part 2 of the 20 skills to do in the game. Let's go. For the first step, you should touch the ball with your sole to bring it towards you. Then, for the second step, you should push the ball with the inside of your weak foot at a 45-degree angle in front of you. And finally, for the third step, you should get the ball back with the inside of your strong foot using the part close to your toes. Done like El Fenomeno, it would give you this. For the first step, you should put your standing foot next to the ball, but leave enough space for your strong foot to pass in between. Make sure to really lift your foot and your arm to pretend you're gonna kick it. For the second step, you will have to pretend you are kicking the ball by throwing your foot forward. Make sure you pass your strong foot between the ball and your standing foot. And finally, for the last step, you will have to make an outside touch to go to the side in case the defender wants to take the ball from you. Together, it should be like this. For the first step, you should put your strong foot just below the ball as if you wanted to do a scoop pass using your outside. You should also make sure that your standing foot is right next to the ball. Then, for the second step, you should lift the ball with the outside of your foot using the part close to your toes. And finally, for the last step, you should get the ball back with the inside of the same foot using the part close to your toes once again, to push it in front of you at a 45-degree angle. Together, it should look like this. For the first step, you should push the ball with the outside of your foot to put it on your strong foot. If you're on the move, push it in the same direction. The second step is the fake shot. Standing foot close to the ball, strong foot and arm in the air as if you really wanted to kick it. And finally, the third and last step is the inside cut, which should be done laterally to prevent the defender from touching the ball. Together, it will look like this. For the first step, the ball should be moving straight ahead. Step number 2 is that when you are at the distance necessary to be able to touch the ball, you should act as if you are going to strike it by raising your arm and planting your strong foot as if you are taking a swing. This step is very important because it is the one that makes the defender believe that you are going to strike the ball. The third step is that instead of hitting the ball, you make an outside touch to continue accelerating in front of you. When you do this, you should be one step ahead of the defender so you can follow up with a shot or continue dribbling. The first tip I would like to give you is that if you do multiple fake shots, you should always keep accelerating rather than slowing down just before doing them. And finally, the second tip is that depending on the situation, you can also use the inside of the foot, but make sure that the defender is not able to take the ball from you, because when you do so, the ball will move a little bit more towards you. So keep that in mind. Together, it should be like this. For the first step, you should put your standing foot, or the foot which you want to throw the ball in the air with, just in front of the ball as you see it on the screen. The step number 2 will be to take the ball between your legs using the inside of your supporting foot and the side of the heel of your standing foot, just like that. For the third and last step, all you have to do is to throw the ball in the air straight ahead of you using your standing foot. To do this correctly, make sure to jump and rotate your body at the same time. Together, it gives you this. For the first step, you should push the ball in front of you with the outside of your foot, but the part close to your heel. Then, the second part, you should get the ball back using the outside of the same foot, but with the part you used to drive the ball this time. Done like CR7, it should be like this. The first step is that the ball has to be rolling in front of you. The speed at which it goes is not really important, but the direction is. To realize this combo perfectly, the ball should be rolling straight ahead of you. Step number 2. You have to do a feint as if you wanted to push the ball with the inside of your strong foot straight in front of you. Make sure to not touch the ball. Also, pay attention to the position of the standing foot, which is important to fake the defender even more. For the step number 3, just after you've done the feint with your strong foot, you should do another one, but this time with your standing foot. The feint with your standing foot will enable you to emphasize the previous one and deceive the defender even more. Make sure to do it also with your upper body and not only with your legs. Doing these two feints quickly without touching the ball will give you a sort of double feint, which is nearly impossible to stop. For the fourth and last step, you should do a forward touch to definitely get past your opponent who has probably been fooled by one of the two feints. All steps together should look like this. For the step number 1, you will have to put your standing foot in front of the ball slightly on the side as if you were going to do a Rabona. Make sure to swing your leg and lift your arm to really act as if you were going to do it. And the second step is to, rather than doing the Rabona, you just top the ball with the outside of your strong foot. Together, it's like this. The basis of this skill is to be moving. The faster you are going with the ball, the harder the skill will be, but also the more effective it will be to eliminate any defender. For the second step, you will have to do a light touch to position the ball perfectly for the skill. The light touch will enable you to emphasize the feint which is coming. The first step is the stepover with your strong foot. Make sure to really go around the ball and to also drop your shoulder when you're doing it. And finally, the last step is to accelerate the other way with the outside of your weak foot. Make sure to push the ball far enough to outspeed your opponent. Together, it will look like this. For the first step, you should be on the move. Know that the faster you go with the ball, the harder it will be. But it shouldn't be almost a standstill either. Try to find the right balance to do it effectively. For the second step, you will have to do an inside step over to fake the keeper. Make sure to lift your leg and your arm right before you do so, to make him think you're going to hit it. Together, it should be like this. For the first step, you should put your standing foot in front of the ball without touching it. Then, for the second step, you should push the ball in front of you at a 45-degree angle with the inside of your strong foot behind your standing foot, but without touching it. And finally, for the last step, you should get the ball back with the outside of your foot, but the part close to your toes. All together, it looks like this. For the first step, the ball should be rolling in one direction, preferably towards the goal, but it doesn't have to be. The second step is the fake shot. Standing foot close to the ball, strong foot in the air as if you really wanted to kick it. Your body should be turned as if you are going to do a curling shot, and finally, your arm should be raised too. The third step will have to be a touch with the sole made forward and laterally to eliminate the goalkeeper or the defender who was on your way. Together, it will look like this. The first step is to push the ball with the outside of your foot. Then you should jump at the same time that you have pushed the ball with the outside. And finally, the third step is to get the ball back with your inside, but the part close to your heel. When you do the skill perfectly, it looks like this. The first step is to flick the ball up using your sole and your weak foot. You should hit the ball in a way it bounces off your weak foot to lift it up. Then the second step is to push the ball with the outside of your strong foot while it's in the air. Then for the final step, you should get the ball back with the inside of the same foot just after you push it with the outside. Together, it should look like this. For the first step, you should position your standing foot just next to the ball to make your opponent believe that you are going to hit it. Make sure to turn your body to bring the defender even further to the side so that it will leave more space on the other side. And for the second step, you will have to use your sole to bring the balls towards the side of your standing foot to have a shot or accelerate away. Together, it will look like this. The first step is to push the ball in front of you with the inside of your foot, but the part close to your heel. And the second step is to push the ball with the inside of your foot, once again, but the part close to your toes. Together, it should look like this. For the first step, you should pretend you are going to put your standing foot down to prepare for a shot. But instead, you touch the ball with the inside of that same foot to make the pass on the side. Make sure to jump to give the ball more power. Remember, you should raise your arm and leg to accentuate the skill. And finally, the second step is to continue gesture for the show. Together, it should be like this. The first step is to push the ball in front of you using the inside of your foot. Then the second step is to push the ball with the outside of the same foot at a 45-degree angle in front of you. And finally, for the first step, you should get the ball back with the inside of the same foot again, using the part close to your toes to push it at a 45-degree angle, but to the other side this time. Make sure that between the first and second part of this skill, you take a short step. Together, it should look like this. The first part, you should push the ball to the side with the outside of your foot. And then the second part, you should push the ball to the other side with the inside of your foot, but the part close to your toes. Both steps together should give you this.
So that's it for this video about the 20 skills to do in a game part 2. I want you to remember to use quality over quantity. Don't dribble every time, don't be predictive. Make sure to dribble at the right moment and use those skills in the right situation. Remember, professional players don't use those skills every game. Maybe apart from Leo Messi, but other than that, you should use quality over quantity. So remember that, enjoy yourself, have a good game, be confident, be positive. I thank you for watching this video and I will see you in the next one.